And now he's the host of the History Channel's series Night Fight, which is full contact armored combat league, often referred to as medieval MMA or Night Fight Club. You've got fighters dressed up in medieval knight armor, hacking away with one another, and the winner walks away with a championship title, $10,000, and a spot in the season finale for a chance to become the first ever Night Fight champion. Joining us here on the show is Christian. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I really appreciate that intro. You make me, you kind of built me up here. I'm kind of walking around with like a peacock with my chest out a little bit. We're going through all my accomplishments there. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Well, now you are a night fight aficionado, and so I've got so many questions about this. I watched the promo, I read about this, but I've got questions. Let's start here. Is this mano a mano, or is this team armored fighting?
Well, that's the thing. It goes, it's a competition series, obviously. And so it starts, there's a melee format, which is every man for himself. There'll be multiple competitors in there. And then, we pull from there. And when knights advance, they go into a team situation. And then from there, it ends up mano a mano.
Okay, so it's a little bit like a Royal Rumble. Everybody runs into the ring, and it's just chaos and a frenzy. And then little by little, you wean it down because guys get eliminated.
Right, exactly. So, and it's tough, because you're in there, you're fighting for your competitive life, so to speak, and you're doling out punishment. You're taking punishment for certain guys. There's certain personalities that mesh with each other as far as the personalities on the show go. And next thing you know, you could be teamed up with somebody that you were just trying to take your head off, and you were trying to take their head off, or somebody you might not like very much. And next thing you know, you find yourself in a team with them, and you have to work together, and that's the only way you could advance. So it throws some drama and some wrinkles into the show for sure.
Okay, so now tell me about the actual armor and the weaponry. Is this homemade armor, or do you get armor from like an equipment magazine or some type of, like locker in the back room?
Well, that's the thing about these knights, these competitors. They really have a lot of pride and take honor in what it is that they do. This is, they bring their own armor, and they work on it themselves. A lot of them have armors, or they know how to weld and do the things themselves. But what we do have two world-class armorers working with them on our show. But for the most part, they bring their own stuff, and their armor is like a glove. They get used to it. They feel comfortable in it. Same with the different type of weapons. You have some gigantic men that use kind of the bigger, heavier weapons. You'll have some smaller guys that are using smaller, lighter weapons that are more versatile to kind of, they can adapt that better with their style. But we do present them. We throw them some curveballs. We present them with some armor and weaponry from historical eras throughout different periods, and that they might not be used to. So there's that as well. So there's a lot of obstacles these guys have to overcome for a chance to become Night Fight champion. We're
talking about the new series on History Channel, Night Fight. So I'm thinking back to me and my dad building a Pinewood Derby car when I was in Boy Scouts together. We're trying to figure out where the weight should be and how the wheels and the axles should work. You're telling me that families are getting together and building their own medieval armor to wear in this. They're welding armor.
Yeah. That's bonding.
That's amazing. That is really – so how dangerous is this? Because I'm watching the clips. I'm not seeing blood spurt anywhere. I'm not seeing limbs get cut off. But I would imagine back in medieval times, that is usually what would happen. Arms would just be severed off. How dangerous is this?
Right. It's a combat sport. It's a hard-hitting, action-packed sport, much like you'd see with football or MMA or boxing or any contact sport. It's the same type of dangers that go into this. These guys are the best of the best that come on the show. They know what they're getting themselves into. They compete. A lot of them in the Armored Combat League. A lot of them are on the national team that travel internationally to compete. So they know what they're doing. Like I said, they're the best of the best. But they, what was this first part of the question again? I just drew a blank.
Well, here's the thing. I think you're underselling this a little bit here, Jay, because yes, there are combat sports, and yes, there's football, and yes, there's MMA, but none of them have medieval weaponry. None of them have swords and clubs.
You're right. We're talking about. I was going to talk about the severing of the limbs.
Yes. I need to know about the severing.
Yeah, so the weapons are full size and scale and weight, but they're blunted. So obviously they're not sharp. So you're not going to see the severing of the limbs and those sorts of things. But these guys they're equipped in their armor. You're looking at about at least 80 pounds of extra weight on top of your body. So when you get knocked down, it's going to be a bit of a bitch to try to get back up. When you have that helm on, the vision isn't great. You kind of have to have your head on a swivel. You got to know where you're at. And we judge these competitors on aggression, technique, and defense. So if you're applying that to the best of your abilities, a better chance for you to advance in the competition.
So I think that's a really interesting part here, because back in medieval time, my guess is that you win when you sever a limb. The other guy dies. You cut off his head, something like this, right? But in MMA, you have to be pinned, obviously. You have to be tapped out. And so what constitutes a win in night fight?
Well, it's the same thing. If the judges, if we decide there's three of us, there's a guy named Andre Sanu, who is one of the founding members of the Armored Combat League, and the other guy's name is John Clements, who is one of the world's foremost professional instructors of medieval and Renaissance fighting arts. So these guys are experts, and between the three of us, we decide, who applies those three traits the best. And sometimes we agree, and sometimes we don't. And that can be the fun of the show as well. And other times, if somebody's physically unable to keep going, that decides it as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so one of the combatants goes down to the ground, can't get up. He's got a concussion. He's whatever. He's woozy or whatever. You can call the fight. But if there is no kind of drop like that, you guys judge who you felt was better in that round.
Yeah, and sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes you can tell right away that somebody has won a fight clearly, and sometimes it's a razor thin decision. And like I said, sometimes the judges we don't always agree on what we saw, and so sometimes there's a little friction there as well with that. I think also another important part of the show is as much as the physicality is great, but getting to know the knights on a personal level I think is important too, to have a connection with the audience. I think that the personalities really come through in their interview segments, where I think you'll find yourself, maybe the viewer will like certain guys more than others, and they'll cheer for more guys over certain other guys. And I think that's also the beauty when you can have that connection with the viewer, where that adds some extra drama to the show.
Yeah, the personal interest story of the medieval knights, right? I mean, you got to get to know, you got to get inside the knights' heads at this point.
Right.
It's great. This is phenomenal. This is very cool. So the History Channel is going to have Night Fight. And when can our listeners catch these episodes?
So it premieres Wednesday, January 23rd at 10 p.m. After Vikings. And it'll be every Wednesday at 10 after that.
Okay, cool. So that's tomorrow night it debuts. Right.
So, I mean, like I said, I could sit here and talk about it all day, but honestly, my words don't do it justice. The how good the show is.
Yeah,
and I'm really proud of all the knights that have competed on this show. For them, this has been pretty much an underground sport at this point, and this is the biggest stage that they've ever been put on or had the chance to perform on. And to put it in wrestling terms, this is the Wrestlemania for these guys, and they go out there and they leave it all in the ring, and they all want to be that first champion. They all want to be recognized as the first ever night fight champion. So it's a big deal for them, and it really shines through. And like I said, if you like action, if you like some drama, if you like personality, if you like brutality, it's a beautiful mixture of all of those things.
The promo looks really cool. I know all the guys here, as we're doing this interview, everybody's ears have perked up. Everybody's eyes have gotten wide. We're all into this, so this is very cool. Jay, I appreciate you dropping on by today, man. We'll be watching tomorrow night. Thanks so much.